So welcome back to Highwheel Woodworks. I'm Tim Eggers. Today we're going to learn how to make a 2 inside tapered leg for a conference table. I've got my cherry here ready to go. I've got 3.5 by about 3.5. I've come down from my top piece here to 5 inches and marked that across my line. That 5 inches represents that flat face on the side that's going to be tapered, and that's what my apron on my table will go into. You'll also notice that on the bottom here, I came in 1 inch from the outside of it, and that's going to tell us where on this fixture that we need to place our piece. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to line this up to where this is the edge that we're going to be cutting. Our opposite side of our fixture is going to go up against the fence on the bandsaw. I'm lining these lines up with that outside edge of our cut. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to clamp it down to my bench so that I can set the stop up on it. So it'll be the same every single cut that we make. What we want to have is good opportunities for repetitive cuts. I'm pulling my vertical line down to the edge of the fence here as well. That outside edge here, what represents what will be our cut line. Then I'm going to simply take a stop, attach it up in there. What that'll do is it'll give us the opportunity for repetitive cuts that'll be consistent and accurate every time. I'm going to put a stop down here on the end, keep us from sliding out of our fixture. And there we go. We take these off, get rid of those. And then every time we put this fixture in place, we know our top face is going to come out to this line on our cut, and our bottom is going to be the one on here. So we're going to get a nice taper along there. So with that, we'll go back to the bandsaw here in a minute and show you how to. So over here at our bandsaw, you'll notice we've got our fixture in place, and I've set my fence to the left of the blade such that the blade just barely touches this fence. So that's going to represent our cut line on each of our pieces. I've had to get our legs oriented such that I can cut one taper here. I can flip it and cut the other taper on this side. It's really important that you do that in the right order, because if I cut this taper first and I tried to lay it back over to get the other one, pretty soon I'm laying it at an angle. Can't do that. I've got my guides and so forth on my bandsaw set high enough to where my piece can sit on my fixture and run through. I've got a really nice 3 teeth per inch, 3/8 inch blade in there that's really sharp. It's set up real well. So we're going to pull our fixture out. We're going to go with our first cut on our piece. And like I said, I could put toggle clamps on here to hold it in place, but I just haven't found that to be a necessity. I can hold it through, and I've got the stop on the back to keep it from running too far or sliding out of our fixture. And also, let's go ahead and make this first cut. Take it nice and slow so it doesn't bind up. Got our first taper cut off there. And you'll notice it came out of the material just a little bit south of our end line here. That gives us an opportunity to run it through the jointer or the hand plane to clean up that side. Then I can run it back through again. I can simply turn it over, and we'll get our other side cut. You'll notice in terms of safety where my hand position was. I was always on the side away from the blade, always further off here. My hands were never ever in the plane of that blade anywhere, so there was never an opportunity for a hand to slip and come through and engage that blade. I'll pull this out, and now you'll see I've got a nice tapered leg on the two inside pieces. So my aprons will come across here and across here. Next thing we're going to do is walk over to the jointer, clean these edges up real nice. So we'll show you that in just a second. So we've got our legs, two inside tapers here. I marked them with a magic marker so we could see where we're at. When we're going through the jointer, we're just looking to clean this face up and get rid of the bandsaw marks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay those down onto the face of my jointer. And I always want that uphill cut. I want to cut from the top down to the bottom here. So I'm going to put that angle in. So it's always downhill cut actually. Always going to use push pads. I would never ever cut a face cut on a jointer without having the push pads in place. We've got our nice straight edge here on the back that's going to go up next to our fence. That'll keep us in order there. We're going to fire this up and run it through into just a couple passes to clean up that edge. And you can see where we're at there so far. Very good on that one. Now we'll turn it over and do the other side. Hang those up back on the rack where they're out of the way. And here we've got our nice leg with tapers on both of the inside faces. Works out really well. Another thing to notice is when I ran this through with the push pads, never ever go without the pads. When I'm getting through, I never take my hands off of these pads until this guard has closed up and is covering up that nasty set of blades that are turning around in there. So just always think of safety when you're doing the joiner. Now we've got 3 more legs to go, but that's how you do an inside, a 2 inside taper. So I've got an angle here and a nice face here for my apron to go onto, and we're ready to get into running the router over it and sanding it. So that's how you make tapered legs. Subscribe if you would, comment if you can.